Hello everyone. Today in this video you are going to learn about purchase order history using three different transaction codes of SAP. Number one is ME23N. In ME23N, if you want to view any other purchase order, then you can simply press onto this button and then you can enter your purchase order number accordingly. Then you are going to go onto this item overview. It will give you the display of your purchase order. You can see the material, quantity and net price. Then you are going to go onto this item detail button. You can find different tabs along with purchase order history tab, and you can find the details about the item which is selected over here. And if I want to view details for any other item, then I'm going to select this button and then select any other item for which I want to see the details. Now remember one thing, whenever an item is received, so 103 movement type is processed, and after its inspection is cleared, then 105 movement type is processed, or if it is rejected, then 124 movement type is processed. As you can see in this example, when item was received, 103 movement type was processed, but this was rejected, so 124 movement type was processed. Then again this item was received on a different date, so 103 movement type was processed, and once its inspection was cleared, then 105 movement type was processed. Now remember one thing, that when I selected a different item from this tab, so you can see that purchase order history tab is not available, and the reason is that this item has not been received yet, or if this item has been received but 103 movement type has not been processed in system, so therefore you won't be able to see the purchase order history tab available in ME23N. In other words, purchase order history will only be available for those items for which 103 movement type has been processed. Now coming towards the second transaction code, which is ME80FN. In ME80FN, you can write here the purchase order number, and if you want to view details for more than one purchase order number, then you are going to simply click onto this button, and then you can mention other purchase order number as well. However, in ME23N, you can only view detail for one purchase order number accordingly. But in ME80FN, you can view more than one purchase order number. Now, once you have executed the transaction code of ME80FN, you are going to go onto this button and select purchase order history. Now again, see that all the materials which were there in your purchase order are displayed here, and you can see all the movement types which were there in ME23N. But in ME23N, you can only view details for one item at a time, but in ME80FN, you can view details for all the different material at the same time. You can also view the rejection, the acceptance, and all the movement type which were there in ME23N along with the invoice details. If invoice has been processed, then it will also be displayed in this transaction code, as it can also be displayed in ME23N. Now coming towards the third transaction code, which is MB51. In MB51, again you can write here the purchase order number, and if you want to view any other purchase order number, then you can click onto this button and enter other purchase order number as well. You can also see that there are two display options. Number one is hierarchy list and the other is flat list. You can select any one of them and then you can execute the transaction code. Once you have executed the transaction code of MB51, then you are going to go onto this change layout button, so that to ensure that all the relevant details are there in your main report, you can select from all this section and you can then press onto this button, so that all the relevant items which you want them to be in your main report are displayed in this section. And then you are going to press onto this tick button, and then your report will be displayed with all the relevant columns which you want. Now you are going to go on to this posting date. You can select it, and then either you can go on to this ascending or descending, whichever you want or as per your requirement, and it will give you the display of all the movement type which were there in ME23N and ME80FN, but it will not give you the details regarding the invoice. So ME80FN will be giving you all the details regarding all the movement types, including invoice details as well, but in MB51 you can view all the material which are there in your purchase order at the same time along with all the movement type, but you cannot view the invoice detail. And similarly in ME23N you can view one material at the same time, you cannot view all the material at the same time. You have to select a drop down button and then go on to the and then you can select a different item if you want to view its detail. But in ME80FN and MB51, you can view details for all the different items at the same time which are there in your purchase order. So that's it guys from my side. I hope you like this video. Kindly like, share and comment and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.